What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to a new episode of Tune Check. I'm your host, Chris. I hope you guys all enjoyed your weekend. Hope you guys all had a great Mother's Day. Shout out to everybody's mom. Shout out to you if you're a mother. Shout out to you if you're a single mom. And shout out to the people who play the roles of moms for other people. But this weekend was pretty active. We had Kendrick and SZA come up, then we had Mother's Day. So I was looking at some videos online from Kendrick and SZA at the MetLife Stadium. And then even the Not Beauty pop-up, my boy Kendrick really came through. Like I said on one of my posts, it reminded me of when Kendrick came to County Prep like 10 years ago and like nobody knew about it. And then just to see him like come to like the mall and everybody was just going crazy, it's just like damn. To me, it was a realization of like wow, like his career like really grew. But also I kind of had a feeling like he would show up considering that they had two shows back to back there. Because again, I went to the PA show. I don't really like going to shows like in New Jersey. I grew up here, so I'm kind of like used to everything. It's kind of boring sometimes. So I like going outside of the state and doing stuff. The only reason why I'm mad is that Kendrick brought out Keem. Like that's the only reason why like I'm like, damn, I should have went. But other than that, it was lit. They still pretty much did the same thing. I know K Tronada came out too. Again, my bad if y'all hear me sniffling or if like my eyes are red, I'm still doing this allergy thing. It sucks. Shout out to my people with allergies again. I know it's a hard time, but we're gonna make it through. But let me get back on track. This episode is gonna be like every other one. We're gonna talk about some news, and then I got album reviews at the end. The album reviews I'm doing are only for R&B albums because I feel like this month had so many great R&B releases. There was really just two that I was looking forward to, and then the other one I just peeped that it came out as well on Friday, and I was like, you know what, let me check it out, might as well. Also, just to remind you guys, I do have a video of my recap of Kendrick's tour on my channel. Also, just to remind you guys, there is a recap of Kendrick's tour on my channel when I went to the PA show. If you guys want to check it out, it's like a 15-minute long video. I'm just showing you like some of the songs he played and the merch at the end that I bought. But definitely go check it out if you want to. If you weren't able to go to any of the shows or if you can't, things happen, it's there. Just so you can see a glimpse of like what was happening and everything. This is a great segue for me to tell you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on my other social media pages. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. You can also hear this on Spotify. I'm trying to get my downloads up. I'm on Apple Music as well, Amazon, all of that. Buzzsprout link is in the description. Thank you guys for showing love. I appreciate all the likes and love that I've been getting recently. But just stay tuned for more. But now we get into the episode. So I want to start off the news section with Dalex. He's one of my favorite Latin artists, to be honest. He makes like reggaeton, he makes Latin trap. He just released a new song and video. It's called Nadie Sabe. The video is pretty dope, honestly. It kind of reminds me of residuals from Chris Brown when he's like singing with the mic standing. But it's like a nice like slow song, kind of like a heartbreak song. I guess you could say it's like Spanish R&B, and I think that's pretty dope. Definitely go check it out, run it up for him because it's a great song. It's a great video too, and he's really a great artist. So check out all of his other work. But speaking about more music that's dropping, we got Leon Thomas next. So he officially announced that MUTT Deluxe Healed is coming out. It's coming out May 30th. So that's a couple weeks away. I'm definitely excited for this. He's been talking about it for a while. He released a recent single with Haley Bailey. Sounds fire. He released his MUTT remix with Chris Brown. I think Lucky Day might have like a remix of his own coming out too. I heard a little snippet online the past couple days, but I'm really excited for this album. MUTT is probably one of the best R&B albums to come out recently. But just to know that he has like all these other songs coming out and all these extra features is like really exciting. I wish I went to see him on tour, but I kind of slacked on that. Last year I was slacking on a lot of tours, but I'm trying to catch up. But speaking about tours, The Weeknd, he started his tour. He's on tour with Playboi Carti and Mike Dean. I've seen that there was some issues with Playboi Carti, so like he went and performed, his set list, and midway he stopped performing one song because the audience wasn't really feeling it, and then he just switched to another one. But I feel like that's an issue that's gonna come up constantly because The Weeknd and Playboi Carti have like two different fan bases. Aside from Never Lie, Timeless, and Popular, I don't really think there's gonna be people like excited to really like hear Playboi Carti song. Everybody really is there for The Weeknd, and I understand that Carti has like this hype right now. I mean, it's good for him because he just dropped the album. He has all this hype right now, and then Carti supposedly has Baby Boy coming out soon too. But I think it was just a bad mix. And then I've seen some of like the merch from the tour as well, and it's just like all black t-shirts and everything. Like I saw an XO shirt that I might want to cop, but it just doesn't really look like too appealing. And then my other issue with this tour is the set list. He's performing basically like the songs off the album, obviously, but also like newer songs as well. And it's just like, damn, bruh, like this is supposed to be your last tour as, the Weeknd persona. And you don't have any songs from like Kissland or like more songs from Trilogy that they want to listen to. I understand that you probably perform these on other tours, but this is like your final tour as this person. So it's like something that we all kind of expected. I mean, I'm sure the tour is going to be fire regardless. You know, it's the weekend. And his new album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, was great. I loved it a lot. I enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite albums of the year. But I would have loved to see different songs from different eras. You know, I wish he could perform Kissland. I wish he could do Don't Tell Your Friends About It. Or like his rendition of Dirty Diana. Maybe even Thursday. Or The Birds. That would have been fire, to be honest. Like, but it is what it is, you know. Like, he's doing what he wants to do the way that he wants it, and that's perfectly fine. But, you know, it's just a thought. Something to consider, I guess. Since we're speaking about tours, next we got Kendrick and SZA. So Kendrick holds the most weeks at #1 this decade with 22 weeks. Luther is the first song to sell 3 million units in the US in 2025. It also tied Roddy Ricch's The Box as the longest #1 rap song on the Hot 100 this decade. That's crazy because I really thought The Box came out back in like 2018, 2019. I didn't think it came out like recently like that. But damn, the downfall of Roddy Ricch needs to be studied for real because like, yo, his career plummeted. Like, I know he's coming out with a new album and I really hope that it helps, but man, like he was really on top and then he just really skyrocketed down. That shit is crazy. But let's get back to topic. So it's gonna keep going up. It's gonna keep selling more units. You know, his tour just started too. His tour is breaking records. It's gonna keep breaking records. But like I said, you know, I got my video up for the tour in PA if y'all want to go check it out. But you know, speaking about SZA, you know, TDE and all of that, we got Doechii next. So she recently revealed that she would love to work with Megan Thee Stallion. A few months ago, Megan did say that she, you know, would want to make a song with her. Also because she wants to challenge herself to like rap over different kind of beats. I did say this in one of my other episodes, so definitely go check it out. Don't remember which number it is, so just go look for yourself. It's only a matter of time for this collab to come out, and I feel like it's gonna happen really soon. But like I said before, I think this song is probably gonna be fire. It's gonna do numbers. It's gonna be probably one of the biggest songs out, to be honest. Because it's Doechii. Doechii's a great artist. But Doechii has been getting some heat because she was caught mistreating her assistants verbally at the Met Gala. You know, she almost had her outfit revealed early before she hit the carpet. You know, she got mad and like people were covering her and then she was asking for umbrellas. Me personally, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, it's the Met Gala, you know, like people don't have their outfits shown early. They show it when they get to the carpet and walk inside. Like, that's the whole point of the outfit. Well, one of the whole points of the outfit, you know, obviously there's a theme and everybody sticks to it, but she didn't even say nothing crazy to them either. She was just yelling at them because she was just upset. And it's understandable, you know, like her and her team worked a lot of hours, probably a really long time trying to fix that outfit up, you know, make it, size it, probably dress her too, make sure everything fits, make sure everything looks good. Then her hair as well. Like that's the whole process, bro. Like, and people are just like being crazy and annoying about it. I feel like they just want to give her a reason just to fail and just to like, you know, mark her as like a terrible person. She even responded on social media with a post, and I thought it was pretty funny. She was like, "Oh, a girl can't ask for more umbrellas." She also took the time to like thank her team and all of that stuff for everything that happened. So it was just like, what are y'all talking about, bro? Like, y'all making a big deal out of nothing. She also released her remix for Timeless, and I heard the song, I heard her verse. It was fire. I don't understand what the big deal is. She was getting so much hate again. Like I said, people are saying that she's being forced. I don't see that. I don't hear that. She's just a great artist, you know? But her remix was fire. She was really spitting bars, bro. Like, she said, pull up to the PG Lang on that. Like, that was a bar. And I loved how she flowed on it. I love how she showed her creativity on the track. But I think she did a great job, you know? The song was already a hit. It was already a bop, but she added more flair to it, and I love it. So go check it out if you haven't heard it, and just stop hating on this girl because it's not cool. It's very corny. And then next on the list, we got Bobby Shmurda. So his tour has officially been canceled. He went to social media to apologize to his fans. So he basically blamed, you know, the marketing people, his marketing team. He basically blamed Philip Stengel. I don't even know how to say his last name. I hope I said it right. He's a promoter. But later on, Philip, you know, went on social media and released the information that the tour was canceled because it only sold 10 tickets per city. And that's crazy. That's real crazy. He called out Bobby for, you know, just publicly venting and instead of just acknowledging, you know, the performance metrics, which is understandable. I mean, Bobby was just mad, you know, of course he's going to vent about it. If there was a reason why it didn't perform as well as he hoped, then, you know, just pay attention to what's going on. Philip said that there isn't issues with the promotion, that it was just a demand. So, you know, I get that too, obviously. I don't think it's anybody else's fault but Bobby's. If you're asking me in all honesty, I think it's Bobby's fault. Like, he was locked up for a good couple years. You know, I think he got locked up back in like 2015, 2014, and then he came out 2021. He didn't drop any music in between that time frame. A lot of artists that go to jail are still able to drop music. You know, like Young Thug dropped a whole album when he was locked up. Even Tory Lanez is dropping songs back and forth. So it's just like you could have done the same thing, but He also didn't really release like nothing like crazy before he got locked up. Yeah, he had those couple songs that was hot for him. Obviously, everybody was listening to it. Considering the time that you've been locked up, those songs weren't really gonna hold that much traction for you or that much momentum. So I feel like he should have just released some other songs while he was in prison, or maybe like he could have recorded like a couple singles, like an EP or something before he went away. That way his label or his team could just release it like periodically. I also remember that interview that he had when he was swinging his feet, where he said that he didn't take the music industry seriously. So it's just like, bruh, like you can't really be mad at anybody but yourself for not really taking your career like as serious as you should. I mean, yeah, you dropped a couple singles when you came out. What was it like? Hoochie Daddy and Cartier Lens, I think, and Shmoney. Instead of dropping singles, you could have dropped like another album or something when you came back out. I'm not even sure if you did because that's just how bad like you didn't really handle anything. But my next piece of news revolves around Rick Ross. So he was on the Bootleg Kev podcast. He said that he's open to squashing his beef with Drake, that it wasn't that big of a deal. And when I heard this and seen it, I thought this was just like really dumb. If it wasn't that big of a deal, why did you just hop on that whole like, oh, let's this Drake train, like let me get on, we don't trust you, and just talk shit. Drop my own diss track, let that diss track be one of my biggest streaming songs, and then just apologize. Like, don't get me wrong, Rick Ross is one of my favorite rappers. I love Rick Ross. Like his Port of Miami 2. I love his Maybach Music songs. I think it's a fire series. I've been a Rick Ross fan for a couple years, to be honest. But I just thought this whole thing was just like, I thought it was weak. Like, I didn't like it. You saying this now, but you did all of this before. And I know they asked him if it really was about the French Montana thing, and he didn't really like say yes or no. So first we got Metro backpedaling, saying people really think we sat in the studio making two diss albums, which is exactly what you did. And then he said that he regrets doing all of that. And now we got Rick Ross doing the same thing. So it's just like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, but speaking about Drake, so OVO Smiley stated that Drake has been locked in recording his music for his new album, that he's been doing it during parties, that he did it during his video shoot for Nokia. And Drake did say he's making a solo album that explains everything that he's been going through the past year. Some people are saying that it's going to be called Iceman because he posted up, photos of a Formula One racer whose nickname is Iceman. He also put up a picture of Val Kilmer, rest in peace, from the movie Top Gun, and his name in the film was Iceman as well. Well, his nickname was Iceman. And then also when he released his second 100 gigs drop, the file was titled Iceman. And he also wore a hoodie that says Iceman on his recent stream with Aiden Ross a couple weeks ago. I think that's a fire name for an album, Iceman. I actually think that's pretty dope, to be honest. But like I said, I'm excited. I'm here for it. Not sure when it's gonna drop. Some people are hinting that it's coming in the summer. He hasn't really said much about it. Don't even know if there's a single coming out, but hopefully we get it soon. But in regards to new albums, we got JID next. So he officially announced his new album, God Does Like Ugly. It's dropping August 8th. I can't wait for this one either. It comes out a day after my birthday, so it's a gift from him to me. He just don't really know it. But nah, I'm really excited about this album. I've been waiting for him to drop something new since last year when he lied about dropping 4 projects with Metro Boomin. Also considering that he did say this album came from like a dark place, he was in a dark place after his last album drop. He feels like he didn't get all the recognition that he deserved. I think it did great. I loved The Forever Story. That was one of my favorite projects of this decade, to be honest. He did say before that he created like a new world with this album. And a few months ago, he did have like an album, like, listening event. And a lot of the fans that went said that the album was really good. So I'm expecting, nothing less than that. But mark your calendars, August 8th. I'm ready for it. I'm here. Like, I'm gonna be tuned in. As soon as it hits midnight, I'm adding it. I'm listening to it. I don't care. It's gonna be so good. But with that being said, that officially wraps up the news section. And now let's get into our R&B. Like I said, I'm just gonna talk about R&B albums. We had so many R&B albums come out within like the past couple weeks. Also in May, we had some fire R&B singles that came out too. I think Giveon just like teased a new song as well. But these 3 projects that I want to talk about were something that I was like really looking forward to. Well, 2 of them I was, and then one of them just caught me by surprise. But I'm gonna start off with the first one. It's by Naomi Sharon, OVO artist. The Only Way We Love. So this is an EP, 6 songs, 23 minutes. My favorite songs is Bittersweet, Can We Do This Over, Calm Waters, Feels Like Home. So this EP is great. Like off rip is great. I enjoy Naomi Sharon. I love her music. I've been a fan of her since 2023. Her style kind of does remind me of Giveon at times. I feel like they would make a great song together. Her voice also reminds me of Say too. Like I said, I love her voice. I think she has a really, really unique sound. And it's only 6 songs, so it's not even that long. The production on this album is great, and I also love how just everything connects together. You could tell she really put a lot of time into this, and I love when you can hear that in the music as well. But on this EP, she really just sings about, toxic relationships. Like, to be honest, that's really what it is. And no matter what happens, like, it just keeps repeating that cycle where they're okay, they got issues, where they're okay, they got issues, but they don't want it to end. They know they should, but they don't want to. They keep doing this and that. This comes up, that comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, also about them just feeling comfortable in the fact that they know that it isn't the best, but this is all that they really just know right now. So it starts off with Bittersweet. The production is fire. The background vocals, the choir on this track, I love this so much. This is just about the ups and downs of being with somebody, the toxicity in that. Can We Do This Over? Reminded me of Sade. The aftermath of track one, basically, like this is a conversation that she doesn't want to have, and what she was talking about on the first track. Then we got Calm Waters after that. Again, the ups and downs of being with someone. The next track after that is Soft Like Dawn. The song is about leaving and how she doesn't want to go through all these issues again, so kind of reminiscent of the second track. Then the track after that is Feels Like Home. This is like a 90s style kind of R&B. I really enjoyed this song as well. And this is pretty much like about how they know that they have issues, but she explores that reasoning of her like that this is all she really knows. And this is what normal feels like to her currently, just like I said in the beginning. She has a lyric where it says a little unsturdy, but it feels like home. Then you got the title track after, it has like a couple dance elements, but it's really just another heartbreak song. The way that everything just flows is really just full circle. She's telling us like the steps that she goes through with this person throughout the relationship of like wanting to be together, not wanting to be together, all these issues that happen. And then you guys are about to break up, but then you guys just end up coming together and just want to stick through it because you're in a cycle. And this EP does a really good job of just bringing all those topics and themes together. But again, this EP was really good, so definitely go listen to it, go check it out. I give it like a good like 9 out of 10 to be honest. I wish it was a little longer. I'm excited for whatever else she got coming out. Like I said, like I really want to see her make a song with Giveon. I think it's about to be so fire if they get on the track together. Cause he'd be making music about him being in his bag too. So it's really about to be lit if they do a track together. But moving on to the second project I want to talk about. This is the one that caught me off guard. This is the one that I wasn't really paying that much attention to, like the artist. So it's from SAILORR. Like it's not that I haven't been paying attention to her, it's just that I've seen, like videos and songs of her. And I did like how it sounds, I did like everything. I was kind of low-key just waiting for the album to drop, if that makes sense. This album is called From Florida's Finest. It's her debut album. 14 songs, 31 minutes. My favorite songs, it's Sincerity, Girls Girl, Bitches Brew, Down Bad, Pookie's Requiem. I don't even know if I said that right. Done Shaving for You, Itadakimasu, Belly, and Your Mother's Son. I'm gonna be honest, this album was fire. I really enjoyed it. Listening to her style of music. I thought it was dope just hearing her sing about like the stuff that she really has been going through, like things from her perspective, things from a female's perspective. I thought that was pretty dope. This album is really a girl's girl album. I don't think she disappointed at all. I thought this was a fire project. I love the things that she was singing about. I love how she showed vulnerability. But I also loved how she had like these just funny like one-liners at times or like these situations that she was talking about that are like really relatable. The storytelling on this album is great also. She did a really good job with that. SAILORR really was able to give us an album that represents her. I feel like it's a really like fresh sound as well. There's a lot of pop influences here mixed with R&B. She sings about love, past relationships, her sexuality. You got the first song, Soft Girl Summer. Then you got Sincerity. I love the jazz elements here. I really enjoyed the horns. She's singing about how the person she's with gives her things, and that she wants and stuff. But even with all of that stuff that she's getting, like she doesn't like that he's like diminishing her light. She still wants to stand out, wants to be her own person. And I get that, everybody goes through that in a relationship as well. Then you got Girls Girl. She opens up about her sexuality, being into women, how she doesn't care about anything as long as the person she's with is interested in her and wants her. She even goes as far as mentioning how the other girl is still interested in men and, still hooking up with her ex, but she doesn't care. Then you got like another favorite song of mine is Bitches Brew, like I said. She was just talking her shit, how she has haters, but she's still gonna make it big and do whatever she wants to do regardless of that. This was giving like Doja Cat vibes, to be honest, to me. I thought that was pretty fire. Then you got like a little like interlude or like a little skit. Give me that lug nut. I thought this was funny. It was just her and her friend, their tire popped, trying to fix it. And they don't know what a lug nut is. I feel like a lot of people don't really know what that is, so it was kind of relatable. I feel like that kind of fits that stereotype of like men saying that women don't know how to change a tire or something. And I kind of feel like that's what she wanted to just speak about, like from a female standpoint. I don't think it's true though, but I think she just did it for the album. But it ends with her saying to her friend, "Oh, no, don't call that guy," to help her, or her friend saying that to her. Then it goes into Down Bad where she just sings about the person that she wants and how like he only hits her up when it's convenient for him or for when he just wants something. So I feel like that kind of was like a double-edged sword, the Lug Nut song, because like, oh, you're only calling him because you don't know how to do this thing, but then he calls you when he wants something. So I guess it just shows both sides of the coin. She sings about how like she really wants a connection and she knows that the situation that she's in, but and it makes her sad, but regardless, she's really enjoying the time that she's able to spend with him, regardless of what it is. Then you got Pookie's Requiem. I think this was a single that she released. She let that person go and she's singing about how like he has somebody that is just a copy of her. And I feel like a lot of people do that and I think that's kind of weird. Should have just stayed with the person you was with or should have never done him wrong. Done Shaving for You was like a really funny track for me because of the hook. Ain't shaving my legs for you. I thought that was funny. I feel like that was just like mad relatable to when it comes to like a female standpoint. But like I said, this is one of those examples where like she would have like these funny one-liners or like funny like lyrics into her songs. And then you got Itadaki Masu, she sings about what she likes in a man. Then you got Belly, she references the movie Belly. She's thinking about her just being with the person she loves, how good they are. I want to hold you under the blue light like we in Belly. Thought that was fire. Then you got Your Mother's Son. It's about her man's mom. She questions the love that he has for her. Says that his mom is disrespectful. She's not really feeling Sailor. She has this lyric where she says, "Because I'm the type of girl who ain't gonna grow or raise your kids," because that's what the mom is saying to her. The mom is praying that Sailor's just a phase. The mom is just like an asshole, to be honest. And Sailor is just there to pick up the pieces when the mother hurts her man, but she ends up leaving. She says, "Stop begging me to stay." This kind of sounds like something that she went through possibly because it's very like personal. There's like a lot of vulnerable parts here as well. She's just questioning, why would you hide me? All of this and that. Sailor's out here willing to slide on somebody's mom. And you know how bad it gotta be for you to slide on somebody's mom? That's crazy. Like that's real crazy. I'm to tell her, yo, I'm gonna slide on her. Like that's funny as hell. Then you got the next couple songs, Cut Up, singing about how she could be the ideal person for you, but the person wants somebody else. You out here just lusting. And you got Booty Call. Booty Call reminded me of like a SZA kind of song. It was very similar to SZA's style, the way she sings, the way she makes her music. Then you got Will You Lie at the end. But like I said, this whole album was fire from beginning to end. I think she's a dope artist, great production. I wish the songs was a little longer, to be honest, because some of them was like a good like minute or so. But that's just how she wants to make the music. Can't complain about that. But this was a solid R&B album, probably like one of the best R&B releases of the year, to be honest. I have been listening to, like a couple times since it came out on Friday, and I feel like I'm probably going to continue to listen to it as well because, like I said, this whole album was fire. Like, I really do have a good amount of songs that I really enjoyed. But shout out to Sailor. Go check it out if you haven't. And if you're an R&B fan, definitely go check it out. And then the last album that I want to talk about is from Kali Uchis. I've been waiting on this album ever since she announced it like a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I believe it's been a month or two. I'm not sure. This is a whole R&B album. I don't care what any DSP says. For some reason, the DSPs are saying that it's a pop album. Some of them have been, but this is really just a whole R&B album. I don't know what they're talking about. But my favorite songs on here is Sugar, Honey, Love, Lose My Control, It's Just Us, For You, Territorial, Fall Apart, Angels All Around Me. This album has no features at all. And at the moment, this is honestly my favorite R&B album to come out this year so far. Aside from Hurry Up Tomorrow, like this album is just fire. Like Callie got it. She dropped a phenomenal album. It's something that's really easy to digest, something that you could relate to. I personally think this is probably her best work. No one could tell me otherwise. I really love this album. There's no bad tracks. If I'm being honest to myself, this is a perfect album and I love it. Like this is really such a great project. And I'm so happy that she dropped it. I'm so happy that we got it. So as I was listening to this album, like I could really tell that this album is just about love off like the first couple of tracks, about how love could be really healing, about how everybody needs love, that this like the most important thing. For the most part, this album sounds psychedelic to me. It's like a psychedelic kind of R&B. There are some instances where she does play with different sounds, like alternative sounds. Examples of this is Fall Apart. And she's pretty much just asking if the person loves her no matter what. Then there's a lyric there too, you don't have to be perfect here. Then you got the song It's Just Us, another alternative song in my opinion. I love the transition from this one. I love the transition from track 3 to this one. I love how the beat kind of picked up, but then there's also other instances where she plays with like older sounds, like oldies and stuff. All I Can Say has like a nice like oldie sound. It's like from the 50s or 60s, to be honest. And I love how she's singing about being unapologetically her. I think that's fire, as she should. Then there's the song All Angels Around Me. This one was giving me Marvin Gaye like vibes. It really reminded me of what's going on. When she starts off the track by saying, "Yeah, angels watching over me," it reminded me of Marvin Gaye's track, of how like he opens it up, I believe, with the saxophone, and then you just hear him with the vocals in the background. And then even just the beat and like the instrumentation of the whole track really reminded me of that song too. And I really enjoyed that. I love Marvin Gaye. I think one of my favorite Marvin Gaye songs is most likely Distant Lover. This song does have a transition, and I kind of do like how she did that. So the first half, she sings about how she's protected and everything, and then the second half goes into her just singing about how she wishes for the other people that, she cares about and other people in general to be protected. But yeah, her singing about the current state of the world is another like theme of the album. Like I said, we got Breeze, and that one is about how we all need love and how it's going to provide us with everything that we need. She also speaks about how she dislikes, the world that we're currently in multiple times as well. She does this on the track Sunshine and Rain too, where she sings about her child and also how the world is. The last track is one of the singles that she also released as well, where she sings about her son again, but it also does mention like about the current state of the world too. I do love how like she starts off the album singing about her son and then also ends with him too, because at the end of the day, regardless of how the world is, she has all this love that she found in him, and that's all that matters to her. That's her world right now. That's the center of her attention. Talks about him, gives us all this other stuff that she sings about, from her relationship to how things are going for her, how she feels about certain things. It all just goes back to him at the end, regardless of whatever's going on. I really enjoyed that. There's also like the theme of healing. Heaven is a home. It's a great opening. It's just, mostly keys, and it's really what gets you, involved into the album, considering how amazing her voice sounds. Then there's another song about her singing about her kid. She keeps saying that seeing him smile, gave her hope. At the end of the song, she also does give a small description of what the album is about too. The story of a girl who was in prison with her mind, and freedom never felt this good. So I thought that was pretty dope. There's also Sugar Honey Love, which is one of my favorite tracks as well. Then you got like another personal song, Lose My Cool. The first half reflects on her relationship and how she doesn't want it to be like other relationships. In the second half, she sings about the bad, how she wants to leave but can't because the other person isn't letting her go, that they're both fighting for this love. Then there's Territorial. She sings about infidelity. What's hers is hers. I'll be the villain in your story. Why would I come respectfully about you disrespecting me? I thought that was a fire bar, fire line. Then there's Daggers. I thought this was a very interesting track. She's singing from a different perspective that's looking at her and how she isn't being valued in her relationship. But as the tracks progress, the themes are very consistent, and it all really makes it feel complete. Like she doesn't leave anything open. She addresses whatever she needs to address. And like I said, I love how the whole album was just very structured, and like I love how she really just sings about what she's been feeling, everything that she's been going through, things that like were bothering her. But this album is perfect to me. Like it was really enjoyable. I've definitely went back to listen to it. I'm gonna keep going back to listen to it because it was really, really great. Shout out to Kali Uchis. I didn't really expect to enjoy this album as much as I did, but definitely go check it out, Kali Uchis, sincerely. But with all that being said, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for sticking through the whole thing. Thank you guys for listening. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Let me know what's up. Send this to all your friends. Send this to your family members, cousins, people at work, anybody that could listen. Let them know what's up. I hope you guys all enjoyed your weekend. I hope you guys all have a great week ahead. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.